Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 56 on my countdown to retirement. So today, my money market mutual fund sold, and I had a T-bill mature. So now I can begin deciding how I want to allocate funds for 2026 to create my 2026 T-bill ladder for my bucket 2 funds. And then I continue to try and reposition my portfolio in advance of the start of 2026. And I want more exposure to healthcare, which has been, one of the underperforming sectors of 2025, but I believe will be rebounding in 2026 as different elements get resolved, like today's announcement by the president, with Eli Lilly, Novo Nordisk, to supplement the other deals that they've already made to get most favored nation status on healthcare. And while those deals sound good, they're usually only on the lowest dose of the specific drugs. So at this point, it seems like the administration has stabilized what they plan to do with the pharmaceutical companies, so that takes some of the risk out of the mix. And so I've already started previously small positions in AbbVie and Pfizer. Although Pfizer, I'm still slightly questioning my decision there. I'm waiting to see what happens relative to their purchase of a company that has a GLP-1 type drug. But I wanted to get broad exposure to healthcare, so I ended up researching 3 different ETFs, one being the FHLC, one being the XLV, and one being RSPH. And so I decided to go and place an order for the Fidelity MSCI Healthcare Index ETF, which is the FHLC, over the Select Spider Sector Healthcare ETF, which is the XLV. And I did that primarily due to the weighting of the top 10 holdings. The top 10 holdings in the XLV represent 56.9% of the holdings in that ETF, and Eli Lilly represents 13.68% of the top 10, or of the holdings, I should say. And then the FHLV has its top 10 holdings, which are identical to the XLV, but the holdings represent only 48.66% of its overall holdings in the top 10, and Eli Lilly is only weighted at 11.81%, and so I prefer the less concentrated holdings in the top 10. And I ended up not going with the Invesco SP500 equal weight healthcare ETF, which is the RSPH, primarily because the net expense ratio was 0.4% versus 0.08% for XLV and FHLC. And when you compare the results of the different things, there's no rationale to go with the equal weight over pretty much whatever time frame you want to look at. So I'm just not going to pay up for fees for something that doesn't really add much value, or doesn't add any value in my opinion. Anyway, after doing that, then my son texted me that the apartment complex that he's in is letting them exit their lease early without a penalty due to the continuing noise complaints that have been documented with audio recordings and such about their neighbor above them that's, in the middle of the night is just blasting music and stomping around, and just it's making their life miserable. So, and especially with my daughter-in-law being pregnant, she's just not able to get any sleep. So anyway, they're letting them out of the lease. They found a 3-bedroom townhouse that they applied to, got approved, and they're getting, I guess, the first month waived at the townhouse so that their exit between the two won't cause an overlap, so they'll pay their the lease payment for the current place they live until they move out, and then they'll just bridge into the new place, which for them has a slightly lower rental cost. I'm not sure about utilities and the other things, but I know that the rental cost is just slightly lower, and it's got more space, which, given that they'll have a newborn in 2026, probably a good thing for them. And because it's a 3-bedroom versus a 2-bedroom that they currently have, the 3rd bedroom will become their office, which will also work out good for them. And then my wife and I were really tired for some reason today, and so we took a late afternoon nap. And then afterwards, I got up and I made a porterhouse steak for dinner. And as usual, I had the New York strip portion, and my wife had the filet portion. And then on top of the steak, I made her sauteed mushrooms, and she wanted black-eyed peas, so I made her that as well. And I just had the New York strip portions lathered in grass-fed butter with salt. And then my mom had a variety of items in her condo that she needs replacements, so I ended up shopping around for replacement LED can lights for her bathroom and kitchen where the bulbs have now burnt out, replacement water filter for the refrigerator that's now indicating it needs to be replaced, and then she has some nutraceuticals that she takes that she's now either running low on or she's out of. So I found the different items, and then I'm going to get with her tomorrow, and I'll actually place the orders and have them shipped to her place. So that pretty much wrapped up my day. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.